Hello and welcome everybody. My name's Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com and I'm here to do a little video on Kamala Harris's life expectancy and health. Thank you so much to everybody that has been leaving suggestions in the comments. I really appreciate that about what videos to do, and thank you Ilya because this was your idea with Joe Biden to look at his health, and so I've already done that, and I will do all of the candidates for the election in November. So we're up to Kamala Harris, and let's go to the board now. And I've had a look at her astrology. Actually, I might go to this because it's easier to see. Okay, so there's a technique. I can't remember what it's called because I found out about this about 20 years ago. A friend of mine told me about it. But basically, you would take the average life expectancy, and it's quite low in the US. It's 78.5 for a female, for a US female. And this is, of course, right across the entire average for the entire female population. So, but the thing to note is it's pre-COVID, so it's going to be in fact less than 78.5 years, as I've stated here, but we don't have those figures yet, and of course it's ongoing because more and more people are dying every single day, sadly, from COVID. However, Harris is now 54 years old at the time of making this video. So the fact that she's got past the terrible things that happen, you know, in children when they're born, or the first 5 years of life, particularly when children may have a higher risk of passing, she's got past all of that. And so 54, she's actually likely to live well past the average age. She's also wealthy, I believe, or I would think. I haven't even looked, but I would think she is quite wealthy. And so that's going to increase her life expectancy because she will have access to, you know, the absolute best medical care, unlike many people, sadly. Okay, so I've just picked a random number, 88. I think that's quite a reasonable number. And when I look at some events in her life, I think it probably does come out around that. But of course she could get killed in an accident before 88, or she could even live longer than 88. So this is sort of like a guesstimate only. So please don't go around thinking she's going to die when she's 88, because it doesn't actually mean that categorically. But we have to start somewhere. So this is a starting point. Okay, so you can see her natal chart here. And if you think of 88 as being the whole of her entire life on the zodiac wheel, each little degree means 2.4 months. Okay, so not 2.5 months, but 2.4 months. Okay, so a little bit less than 2 months and 2 weeks. Okay, so there's 360 degrees in a circle, and you just take 88 years and divide it by 360, and that's how you get 2.4 months per degree. Then we can look at the houses and add up all of the degrees in the houses, and then we can judge what happens at what age. Okay, so because throughout our life, as well as all of the transits that happen and all of the other astrological things that happen, we are traversing the wheel of our life. So people like Donald Trump and myself, we have all of this huge activity here. And it's like the older we get, the busier we get. However, you can see Kamala Harris here has a lot of activity underneath. So while she was growing up, she accomplished things relative to each planet as she was, you know, going through her various developmental cycles of life. So there is a school of thought that basically says, you know, you divide your wheel into 4, and they are the 4 quarters of your life. So she's already done a lot of stuff, and she's actually up here now. Okay, so I thought I'd just come to where she is, and what's coming up is Saturn in her 9th house. Okay, this house is basically 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 32 degrees. Okay, 32 degrees times 2.4. It's about 7.5 years, roughly. You know, I'm not working out with a calculator, but normally I would. 7.5 years. So she's about here. She's a Libran. Her birthday is this month. Okay, so that's right where she is at the moment. So she's still got a little bit to go, but this is a very important placement because Saturn in the 9th house confers a very high responsibility onto a person. So in 2024, she will in fact be 59 years of age. So she's got 4 years to get to there. And that makes me think that she has got a terrific shot, along with other things that are going on with her chart that I won't go into on, because I need to do a separate chart. And there's so much involved. But that makes me think that she has a very good shot at being elected president in 2024. And then we see, if we continue on, 59 to 60, around the 62 sort of mark, there is Chiron. Here in her 10th house of career and social status. And this is like your life mission. This is not your normal everyday type job. This is not her working the checkouts down at Walmart, okay? This is what she's here on the planet for. And then Chiron's there. And Chiron is the wounded healer. And Chiron opens up the wounds. It could be that something very dramatic happens towards the end of her first term. Maybe she only gets 1 term, or perhaps she can overcome it and her wounds will be on display to the world, and she can get past it and do a 2nd term. But it's certainly not going to be easy. If she does 1 term, when she comes to this just knocks you for 6. I don't know how to translate that into American, but, okay, I thought of a way of saying it. Just imagine getting run over by a Mack truck. Like, it's not pretty. This is heavy duty stuff here. And so, something major happens there. The other thing I wanted to talk about was her health. She has, for example, she's got a north node here in Gemini, and her south node here in Capricorn. That gives people very strong physical health normally, and with this independent streak that she has. So independence is one of the main lessons that she's had to learn, and typically what it would do too, it would bring a lot of problems in love, and people that have a north node here in their first house would probably have some divorces or some broken relationships, or they haven't married at all. Now, I did note that she recently, 5 years ago, I think it was 2013, however, 7 years ago. 7 years ago she got married, and a later marriage often is successful. So the reason I bring that up is because it is well known that if you are married or partnered, that you tend to live longer. Okay, so she's likely to have a successful marriage, and that will help her health. Okay. The other thing to note here is that she has Neptune in the 6th house. Now, with Neptune there, it gives a sort of inclination to be a bit weak as far as viruses are concerned. People with Neptune here can pick up viruses more easily, and there's a sensitivity, like there's an underlying spirituality with her that really does affect her health. She's quite sensitive physically, and so she really needs to be careful of toxins and viruses, okay, with Neptune there. So, but she's probably already, worked these things out. And of course, in these days, with COVID going on and just increasing dramatically, and I hear now, I haven't had a chance to look at this yet, but I heard this morning that the US is on its third wave of COVID and the numbers are increasing rapidly again. And so it's very important that anybody who is sensitive or picks up viruses easily, that they really take care of their health. So that's what she has to do. And so I just thought I'd talk a little bit about this. You can see that the 9th house here, so that's around 7 to 8 years. The 10th house here, where she has this terrible wounding that happens when she's around 62, that's an 8-year period there. And the 11th house, I worked it out, it's 9 years and 8 months. She has a moon there. So that brings still a lot of energy with the public, and it brings up a lot of subconscious contents. And then the 12th house is 9 years. So it's all very fascinating. I find it fascinating working these things out. When she was around 45 years of age, that's Lilith underneath the south node there. Lilith in her 7th house is very, very difficult. She could have had a broken relationship. I did try to find out, but there's not much online about her personal life. And lucky in the sense of that's happened 10 years ago or 11 years ago. And so whatever that terrible wounding was there, or that issue with Lilith, she's over that, and now she's up here. So yeah, I find it quite fascinating. I would say that I'm feeling fairly confident about her health. The other thing with her age, of course, is she's around the menopausal time, so she could have already gone through menopause, or if she's a little bit later, she could be going through it soon. But I'd say, yes, that'll probably just make her more spiritual and more sensitive, but it doesn't have to necessarily impact upon her health. But it is something to think about at 54 years of age, that, menopause, she's probably in it or recently gone through it. And some people sail through menopause and other people really, really suffer. So I'm 5 years past my menopause. I don't get the hot flashes anymore or any of that stuff. And so it took 2 or 3 years for me to get through it. So that's how I sort of judge, that she started when she was like 50. She'd probably be through it, but she started when she was like 52. She could sort of, still have a little bit hanging around, and then she has to be careful, makes her more sensitive again. Okay, so that's it for Kamala Harris. I don't pick up anything around her health other than the sensitivity to toxins and viruses, and basically she's got good health. Okay, all right, I'll just close my eyes and see if there's anything else for her. There's something about arms. I see, it's like I'm looking down, I see a brown skin, her right arm, and don't know if she plays tennis or something with hitting a ball, or so she just has to be careful of strained muscles. But if you overdo stuff, you always get an ache or a pain there. Does anybody know if she plays tennis? I'm getting tennis quite strong. And so, but her overall health, it doesn't pick any, it doesn't make any effect. Her throat, that's the viruses. But I'm not getting that she's got a virus or anything like that. I'm just saying be careful. Okay, now I see a waterfall, and the water's coming down very strongly. This is chi force energy, and it's going throughout her body, so she's got access to that life force is coming through quite strongly. I can see it. When you stand in front of the water and it's actually making like a thundering type noise because there's so much of it. There's a lot of mist. but a lot of water is getting down and going downstream. So that says to me that she's really in touch with her life force. Anything else? She does get, and you'll never think this, but I'm getting like anxiety and a bit of a pounding heart. And not because she has a heart problem, but it's more if she's got something that's important to do, there's a bit of anxiety, and I can feel this going. But look, every time we've got to stand up in public and do public speaking, I've got that. The vast majority of people who have to do public speaking have this sort of bit of an anxiety. It's only at a low level. It's not like taking over. She can control it. But it is there because I can just feel my heart going like that. And it's like nerves because she's prepared and, she gets herself prepared. But I'm surprised. I would never have thought of her as perhaps getting nervous before major events. Okay, so that's it. Hope this was helpful. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you're new, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Okay, I've got Donald Trump and Mike Pence to do with regard to their health and life expectancy. Thanks so much for watching today. Bye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website absolutesoulsecrets.com for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.